Welcome back to me again. Last video we talked about find the topic. Let's continue in this video part 2. Never write complete sentence. Correct. Growing up in a small town avoiding burglaries. Incorrect. That's our complete sentence. The author is teaching me about growing up in a small town. Growing up in a small town is good. You can avoid burglaries. Jadi terakhir kita bicara tadi kan disuruh nyatat tuh main topik yang kata-kata sentence-nya tuh. Jadi yang cara yang benar itu dicatat poin yang penting aja. Kalau kita catat semuanya itu tuh salah. Okay. And then ask yourself, what does the author want me to know about the topic, or what is the author teaching me? Look for a sentence that states the main idea. This is the state main idea or topic sentence. At times, the main idea will not be stated directly. This is called an implied main idea. Avoid detail. Think of a general statement that could sum up the specifics as effectively as any state topic sentence. Your main idea will include the topics and the central point that the author expresses. Topic: growing up in a small town. Correct main idea: there are several advantages to growing up in a small town. Incorrect main idea: said neighborhood is one of reasons small towns are good. The incorrect main idea is a detail and doesn't sum up all a paragraph. Topic: avoiding burglaries. Correct main idea: people can avoid burglaries by taking certain precautions. Incorrect main idea: how to avoid burglaries. The incorrect main idea is a complete sentence. Jadi contoh yang pertama itu tadi, yang growing up in small town tadi, kenapa incorrect main idea-nya itu salah? Dikarenakan detail yang dijelaskan itu tidak mencakup dari semua paragraf. Sedangkan topik yang kedua itu kenapa salah? Karena itu hanya potongan kecil dari paragraf itu yang tidak konkret, yang tidak komplit dan tidak merangkum semua dari paragraf itu. That's all. Sample topics and main ideas. Sample first. Main ideas that in a topic sentence. Does watching violence on TV make people more prone to violence themselves? Obviously, TV violence has some negative effects. One study found that happy TV watchers are more fearful of others. They try to protect themselves with guns, alarm systems, and security locks on doors. In the same study, it was found that happy TV watchers are less upset about real-life violence than are non-TV watchers. All of the violence they see on TV makes them less sensitive to the real thing. A recent study also found that TV violence increases aggressive behavior in kids and makes them more likely to select toy guns rather than other kind of toys. Jadi topiknya adalah topic is TV violence. State main idea: obviously TV violence has some negative effects. Paraphrase of main idea: TV violence can have harmful results. Sample number 2, implied main idea. In ancient times, irrational behavior was considered a result of demons and evil spirits taking possession of a person. Later, Greeks looked upon irrational behavior as a physical problem caused by an imbalance of fluids called humors, or by displacement of an organ. In the highly superstitious Middle Age, the theory of possession by demons was revived. It reached a high point again in the witch hunts of 18th century Europe and America. Only in the last 100 years the true medical explanation gained wide acceptance and where categories of illness change. So, tadi contohnya, and topic irrational behavior or mental illness. Main idea, main idenya, people have explained mental illness in many different ways over the years. Jadi, ide utamanya itu adalah orang-orang menjelaskan mental illness ini different ways over the years. Jadi setelah bertahun-tahun, there is different ways of kind mental illness. I think that's all from meeting number 2. We move to topic 3 and on third meeting. Okay. Questions about the ideas of the passage. It is very common for reading passage in the reading section of both the paper TOEFL test and the computer TOEFL test to have questions about the overall ideas in the passage. The most common type of question asks about the main idea, topic, title, or subject. There may also be questions about how the information in the passage is organized or about which type of information is included in a particular paragraph. Skill 1. Answer main idea questions correctly. Almost every reading passage on the paper TOEFL test or computer TOEFL test will have a multiple choice question about the main idea of a passage. Such a question may be worded in a variety of ways. You may, for example, be asked to identify the topic, subject, title, primary idea, or main idea. These questions are really asking what primary point the author is trying to get across in the passage. Since TOEFL passages are generally written in a traditionally organized manner, it is relatively easy to find the main ideas by studying the topic sentences, which are most probably found at the beginning of each paragraph. If a passage consists of only one paragraph, you should study the beginning of that paragraph to determine the main idea. Look at a multiple choice example from the paper TOEFL test that asks about the topic of a passage with one paragraph. Example from the paper TOEFL test. The passage. In the philosophy of John Dewey, a sharp distinction is made between intelligence and reasoning. According to Dewey, intelligence is the only absolute way to achieve a balance between realism and idealism, between practicality and wisdom of life. Intelligence involves interacting with other things and knowing them, while reasoning is merely the act of an observer. A mind that beholds or grasps objects outside the world of things with reasoning, a level of mental certainty can be achieved, but it is through intelligence that control is taken of events that shape one's life. The question, what is the topic of this passage? The best answer is therefore the idea of how intelligence differs from reasoning comes from the first sentence of the passage, which mentions a stark distinction between intelligence and reasoning. If a passage consists of more than one paragraph, you should study the beginning of each paragraph to determine the main idea. Look at a multiple choice example from the computer TOEFL test that asks about the title of a passage with more than one paragraph. Example number 2. Nitrogen fixation is a process by which nitrogen is continuously fed into biological circulation. In this process, certain algae and bacteria convert nitrogen into ammonia. This newly created ammonia is then for the most part absorbed by plants. The opposite process of denitrification returns nitrogen to the air. During the process of denitrification, bacteria cause some of the nitrates from the soil to convert into gaseous nitrogen or nitrous oxide. In this gaseous form, the nitrogen returns to the atmosphere. Which of the following would be the best title for the passage? First, the process of nitrogen fixation. Second, two nitrogen processes. Third, the return of nitrogen to the air. And fourth, the effect of nitrogen on plant life. This question asks you about the best title for the passage. In a passage with more than one paragraph, you should be sure to read the first sentence of each paragraph to determine the subject, topic, title, or main idea. The best answer to this question is the second answer. The two nitrogen processes are nitrogen fixation, which is discussed in the first paragraph, and the nitrification, which is discussed in the second paragraph. The following chart outlines the key information that you should remember about main idea equation. Third example. This is kind question about main idea. What is the topic of the passage? What is the subject of the passage? What is the main idea of the passage? What is the author main point in the passage? With what is the author primarily concerned? Which of the following would be the best title? Where to find answer? The answer to this type of question can generally be determined by looking at the first sentence of each paragraph. How to answer the question? Read the first line of each paragraph. Look for a common theme or idea in the first line. Pass your eyes quickly over the rest of the passage to check that you have really found the topic sentences, and eliminate any definitely wrong answers and choose the best answer from the remaining choices. Okay. Fort Knox passage 1. Fort Knox Fort Knox, Kentucky is the site of U.S. Army post, but it is even more renowned for the Fort Knox Bullion Depository, the massive vault that contains the bulk of the U.S. government's gold deposit. Completed in 1936, the vault is housed in a two-story building constructed of granite, steel, and concrete. The vault itself is made of steel and concrete and has a door that weighs more than 20 tons. Naturally, the most up-to-date security devices available are in place at Fort Knox, and the Army Post nearby provides further protection. First question: which of the following best describe the topic of the passage? A. The city of Fort Knox, Kentucky. B. The Federal Gold Depository. C. The U.S. Army Post at Fort Knox. And D. Gold Bullion. The best answer for this question is B. The Federal Gold Depository. Why? Because if we choose A, the city of Fort Knox, there is no incorrect because tidak mencakup dari semua paragrafnya. Kalau C, the US Army Post. Bukan, salah. And D, Gold Bullion. Dia cuma bilang Gold Bullion aja, jadi salah. Second question, which of the following would be the best title for this passage? A. The Massive Concrete Vault. B. Fort Knox Security. C. Where the United States keep its gold. And D. A Visit Kentucky. The best answer for this question is C. Where the United States keeps its gold. Passage 2. One identifying characteristic of mineral is their relative hardness, which can be determined by scratching one mineral with another. In this type of test, a harder mineral can scratch a softer one, but a softer mineral is unable to scratch the harder one. The most hardness scale is used to rank minerals according to hardness. 10 minerals are listed in the scale, ranging from talc with a hardness of 1 to diamond with a hardness of 10. On this scale, quartz number 7 is harder than feldspar number 6 and is therefore about to scratch it. However, feldspar is unable to make a mark on quartz. Question: which of the following best states the subject of this passage? Following best stage. A. The hardness of diamonds. B. Identifying minerals by means of a scratch test. C. Feldspar on the Mohs scale. D. Recognizing minerals in their natural state. The best answer for this question is B. Identifying mineral by means of a scratch test. Next question. The main idea of this passage is that A. The hardness of a mineral can be determined by its ability to make a mark on other minerals. B. Diamond with a hardness of 10 on the Mohs scale can scratch all other mineral. C. A softer mineral cannot be scratched by a harder mineral. And D. Talc is the first mineral listed on the Mohs scale. The best answer for this question is A. The hardness of mineral can be determined by its ability to make a mark on other mineral. I hope you can understand it, and you may check, and maybe you can try to do some TOEFL tests online free to know how much you understand the material. Oke. Kalau mau bisa dicoba aja lagi topik ketiganya tadi. Kalau mau bisa coba, mau tahu pengetahuannya udah sampai ke seberapa, bisa coba TOEFL test aja. Atau coba if you cannot go to TOEFL test, maybe you can try to answering your books and ask your teacher or lecturer to help you answer it. Okay, let's move to the last meeting or fourth meeting from professional reading. Okay, without any further ado, let's go. Skill 2. Recognize the organization of ideas. In the reading section of both the paper TOEFL test and the computer TOEFL test, there may be questions about the organization of ideas in passage. On the paper and the computer test, you may be asked to determine how the ideas in one paragraph or paragraphs relate to the ideas